All right, guys, here's our next set of notes. Next entry is going to be entry number 6, and it's called Distributive Property. So write that in. Okay. I guess I should probably zoom it in a little bit. All right, there we go. Distributive property. Write that in and go into your next entry for your notes. The last ones that we did were the combining like terms. So I haven't glued mine in. My bad. Make sure you get yours glued in quickly, but that's the reason why we wrote this in, so that next time we have a problem, or if your notes aren't in there, you know what's going to need to be there. So distributive property. Okay. And we're actually going to do this lesson, okay, tomorrow. So tomorrow's date is going to be 9/9/15. All right. Now, I'm going to use the printout notes that are available on the website. Feel free to if you would like to. If not, it's not mandatory. You do not have to. All right. So distributive property, it says definition. For any numbers, A, B, and C, okay, A, parentheses, B plus C equals A times B, and remember we write them side by side. You don't have to put those in parentheses, just side by side, meaning to multiply, plus AC. Okay, so this means this A outside of the parentheses times this B, but then we also need to multiply this A times this C, and that applies to both numeric and algebraic. Okay, so let's think about what distributive property or what distribution means. Okay, over here to the left, what does distribution mean? Well, let's think of a way that you might recognize it. Maybe like a paper boy or the paper guy or whatever, paper girl. Okay, another way would be, helping pass out the papers for the teacher. So a student passing out, and the passing out would be the distributing. Whoops. Papers. Okay, so we got paper boy, and then we got a student passing out, which is distributing papers. Okay, now there's going to be different ways that you can use your distributive property. We're going to talk about the numeric examples and then some algebraic examples. Okay, now numeric looks like the word number, so it's obviously dealing with only numbers. Algebraic is like algebra, so it's going to be dealing with variables. Okay, so right here, this 4 would represent our A, the 3 is our B, and the 5 is our C. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 parentheses 3 plus 4 parentheses 5. Which remember, these parentheses just means that I'm going to be multiplying. So I end up with 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 4 times 5, which is 20. And when you add that together, you should get 32. All right, 2, 0, yep, 32. Okay, now that one's not too bad. But look at number 2. This is when we throw in all these negatives and we get a little bit confused. So you need to be very careful when you're doing these. So we're going to do the same thing. This is negative 6 is A, 3 is B, and 8 is C. Now think for a moment about your integer rules. I gave a lot of you a cheat sheet today for notes to help you with your integers. Okay, close attention. Okay, so we're going to just rewrite it first. Negative 6 parentheses 3. Now I'm going to use a subtraction sign and put subtract, because that's what I did here with adding. So use our subtraction sign. And remember again, I have a negative 6 parentheses 8. Okay, so a negative times a positive gives us a negative 18. Okay, go on and put minus. And then a negative 6 times a positive again gives us a negative 48. Now this is a subtraction problem, right? Well, this is where you would want to use your KFC, which you keep your first sign the same, flip this subtraction to addition, and change the sign of the second number. So that negative is now going to become a positive. So now I've got negative 18 plus positive 48, which my signs are different. And in those notes, if the signs are different, we think of difference. And difference tells us we're going to want to subtract. So when you do 48 minus 18, we get 30. And we have more positives than we do negatives. So we're going to say it's a positive 30. Make sure that's easier to read. So those are just some numeric examples using the distributive property. Okay? Now let's scroll on over to the algebraic. And you're going to do the same thing. Just because it's got the letter doesn't mean, don't let it confuse you. Some of you are, why are there letters here? Don't let that flip you up. Do the same thing. Apply the same process. So 7 is our A, M is B, and 11 is C. And we're going to use the same thing that we have up here. 8 parentheses B plus C. 8 times B plus A times C. All right, so don't let the M change. And you're not solving for M. This is not an equation. This is an expression. So you can't solve for M. So just like with our combining like terms, okay, you're not going to be able to say M equals something here. If that's what you're worried about, it's not going to be an M equals right now. We're going to get to that later on this week. So right now I'm going to write, okay, I'm going to do 7 parentheses M minus, take our 7 again, 7 parentheses 11. Okay, and 7 times M is just 7M. Okay, minus 7 times 11 is just 77. And that's it. That's your answer. There's nothing else that you're going to need to do with that. So let me explain it one more time, okay? So 7 parentheses M, put our subtraction, okay, minus 7 parentheses 11. So go ahead and multiply 7 times M. We get 7M. Bring our subtraction down. And 7 times 11, we get 77. Don't need to KFC this one, okay, because it doesn't have that double negative like this over here did. This is what we call a double negative, and you don't want a double negative, so we had to change it up. So then your answer is just 7M minus 77. All right, now example number 2. It's a little bit harder. It's got an exponent, but that's okay. You're not going to square this 3. You're just going to multiply them and then attach your x squared at the end, okay? So I got to move over a little bit to the farther side so I can make sure I have enough room. So again, this is my A, and you're thinking, well, I have all these right here, okay? And it's only, this is A, and this is A, and this is B, and then this is C. It's okay if you have more, all right? You just need to make sure that you're multiplying all of these numbers inside the parentheses times this 3. You could have 5 numbers in the parentheses separated by an operation. Just make sure that however many numbers or terms are inside the parentheses, every single one of them is being multiplied by the number outside the parentheses, okay? So 3 parentheses 3x squared, close parentheses. Now put my plus. Now take my 3 again. 5x, close parentheses. Okay, there's a subtraction. Okay, so minus, put my parentheses, or my 3 again. And that's why I moved over, because I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough room. And I'm going to put my 6 right here. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and multiply. So 3 times 3, we all know is 9. And then just attach your x squared, guys. You don't need to square the 9. Just attach your x squared. Okay, plus. And then I've got 3 times 5x. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. And just attach your x. And then I've got minus 3 times 6, which is 18. Now, right now, we're not going to combine any like terms. We're going to talk about that later on. But here, so this is your final answer. Which technically, there's nothing to really combine. You got one with an exponent. You got a term with an exponent and a variable, just the variable, and then you got one with just a constant. So you can't really combine anything there anyway. All right. let's scroll on over here. This is just called the box method right here. Okay? And it's just if they give it to you in a picture format, you just need to know how to do it. So just the same setup. All right? Your 3 is going to go out here. Okay? Your A is going to go here. So this is the A, the B, and this is the C. Okay? So put your X here and your 5 there. So that means 3 times X, 3X, okay? And then 3 times 5, 15. I'm gonna kind of circle these so you know that they're not actually part of the X and 5 and 3. So then you simply write 3X plus 15, okay? And here we go on to number 2. It's the exact same thing, guys. So A is always gonna go out here. So then you have your 3x squared, your 5x. Now notice how I'm not writing any signs here. They are positive, so you don't need to write the plus sign. But right here, I've got minus 6. So what I want to do is I want to put minus 6 right there. Okay? So 3 times 3, 9. And then attach your x squared. 3 times 5, 15. Attach x. And then 3 times negative 6, negative 18. So then you get 9x squared plus 15x minus 18. Okay? Over here, 8 friends go to the movies. Admission is $8 each, excuse me. They each get the movie deluxe combo meal for $12.50. Find the total cost for all 8 friends' admission meal and meal. Okay? So to set this up, there's 8 friends. Okay? So we're going to distribute that 8 to the cost of admission and the $12.50. So 8, and then it's $8 for the friends to get in for their tickets, $8 each, plus they each paid $12.50. Okay? So now I'm going to distribute my 8. This 8 stands for the 8 friends. Okay? This is the $8 for each admission ticket, and this is for the meal. All right? Let me move it up. So 8 times 8 plus 8 times $12.50. And 8 times 8 gives us 64. And 8 times $12.50 gives us 100. So altogether, they're going to spend $164 at the movie theater. Okay? I'm going to go a little bit faster through here just because I'm kind of running out of time. Okay? So, same examples that we just did, just a couple more. Take that negative 2, parentheses 4, okay, minus negative 2, parentheses 5g, okay. Let me see. So negative 2 times 4 gives us a negative 8, minus negative 2 times 5g gives us a negative 10g. Now, I'm going to go on and mark out 2 because I don't really have room to do it, and that's okay. That happens sometimes. Here's that double negative, so we need to KFC it. So keep, flip subtraction to addition, change that negative 10 to a positive. So we now have negative 8 plus 10g. And that's our answer. Okay? I want you to do number 3 on your own. And then we're going to talk about it tomorrow in class. And whoever gets it right will get 2, let's say 2 stamps for their incentive chart. Okay? So we're going to talk about it tomorrow in class. And whoever gets it right will get 2 stamps to go towards their incentive chart. All right? This quiz is already uploaded in Skyward, available for you to take. It's 5 questions, 3 multiple choice, and 2 true false. Don't forget to hit save and complete. See y'all tomorrow, guys.